Well, let's get on with the Austin Suddeth podcast. Hello and welcome to the Roundabout Podcast. This is episode 38. My name is Austin Suddeth, and with me I have Michael Levine, Shane Nicewonger, Hunter Brittle, and Tyler McClellan. Hello, gentlemen.
Greetings,
How's it
friend.
going?
It's the return of the Shane.
Hello. Return
He's
of
back.
the Shane.
He's here. He does
never left.
exist.
I am.
He never left, he says. So he missed like 3 straight.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been a month.
When you get flooded with notifications, you miss the ones that say, hey, we're recording a podcast.
You know, other than the fact that for the most part, we record these at the same time every week.
Well, we're not today.
And also, you specifically said, hey, I won't be there.
Yeah,
That bit kind of gives it away.
You do that a lot. Hey, we're recording. Who's available? Not me.
Not me
Yeah.
this time.
All right. Well, I didn't mean to torch him when we first started
Hey, listen.
the podcast.
He's been
Jesus
gone
Christ,
for like
guys.
a month. I think we are allowed at least a comment apiece.
He's a big boy. He can handle it.
You're not supposed to comment on a man's weight. That's jacked up. Anyways,
Well,
y'all asked before this because no one had anything. And boy, do I have a weekend for you.
I love your weekend stories.
God, it ended this week, and I'm gonna start off. We're gonna do this. We're gonna soften the blow. Had a good moment this weekend. Me and Gray went to our first ever monster truck show,
Oh, hell yes.
which was a load of fun. I'd never been to one. Obviously, Gray's this was his first one too. My in-laws bought like a family VIP 4-pack tickets to a monster truck show. And like I had an idea what they are, but never been to one, never really looked at one. And it was fun. It was great. It was like he loved it. There was 4 monster trucks that were featured. One of them was very like pandering to kids. So all the kids loved one truck. And then there was another truck that was supposed to be like the truck of the show. And the driver who drove that thing is insane. Like he could handle that machine in a way I didn't think anyone could handle a vehicle. And phenomenal. Like he clearly was like insanely skilled at what he did. He even came out and like talked about how he has been doing this for his entire adult life, and he's 47. So he has been doing this for over 20 years of just driving monster trucks, which I'm like, all right, you know, after 20 years of doing something, I'd figure you would be good at it. And the fact that dude almost ran that monster truck into the ceiling twice, I was really hoping he actually did, because that would have been amazing.
when you say ceiling, where did they do it?
So it was in Henderson. It was at the Rusk County Expo Center. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it was in Henderson, Texas. And I mean, it's an enclosed building, but I mean, it's big. And I think they do mostly like capital shows and stuff out there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
he was phenomenal. And like I said, if it wasn't for like every one of the kids liking the monster truck that looked like a giant shark, I'm pretty sure they would have had him win, quote unquote, all of the events. But they had the shark attack, is what it was called, win the second event. So all the kids got to cheer. But then they did, at the end, was like a freestyle thing where all the drivers just went out and just drove their monster trucks around and did tricks and jumps and stuff. And he was like clearly outclassing them. Like it was no contest. So it was fun. Good experience. First time I've ever been to a monster truck show. It was great. Here's where my weekend shifted. Oh, go on.
Well, no, I was just going to say I have been to a monster truck event. It's been quite a while ago. I was pretty young, but I do specifically remember enjoying it. But my mom, however, anytime it gets brought up, she talks about how I thought it was the greatest thing on earth. Apparently, 3 months after we went.
Did we lose him or?
Okay,
yeah,
dude, was that silent for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dead
Okay.
silent.
I was like,
But I wasn't sure because I saw Tyler's thing still lighting up, so I assumed he was still talking.
right. And so I was like, I'm just going to wait this out.
My story.
Like, yeah, it's like a good 3 months after, and that's all I heard. And then I was like,
Gone.
okay, is it me? Is it Discord? Is it him? I'm just going to wait this out.
Well, and then nobody said anything after, and I was like, "Did I mess up? Like, did I say a word I wasn't
We hated
supposed
whatever
to
you
say?"
said.
Yeah, whatever you said sucked.
If we keep
I was like,
this,
I thought that was somewhat entertaining.
if we keep this in the podcast, none of us heard Tyler's story just now. Just so y'all know,
Yeah.
our Discord just went dead, and then we come back and it's dead silence. So great story,
well,
Tyler.
long story short, my mother said basically she said it was like every day for 3 months after I asked if we could go back. Apparently, I thought it was like the greatest thing to ever happen. So, hopefully your son feels the same way.
Well,
Gosh,
and
that'd
that,
be the
and
greatest
that
thing
was
to ever
kind of like
happen.
the thing that the driver said is like why he got into it is he was 4 years old, which is my son's age, so obviously my son was like, oh, kindred spirits. But he was 4 years old, went to a monster truck show and got obsessed with them. And that's what he wanted to do for his life. And he has been doing it his entire adult life, which I'm like, that's awesome. Like, cool, great story. Now my kid wants to be a monster truck driver, which, you know what? Go for it.
There's worse things.
I don't have the money.
How does
Right.
one get into being a monster truck driver?
I've always wondered the same thing. That's a great question.
They didn't tell me that part, so I don't know.
Does it start in like you know how most racing series have like levels to it? Does monster truck driving start as, driving a four-wheeler in your backyard and then progress to go into trails, and then eventually you kind of have to get into demolition derby just because you got to learn how to get beat around?
Probably. I'm sure that's actually a pretty good career path for that.
I'm not sure. They did have this other bit to the event where it was quads, and it was supposed to be like a quad series race where they had Team Texas versus Team Oklahoma, which it was like, it was painfully staged. Like, I'm not against having staged things. I mean, it is a show and these things are largely geared towards children, but the quad race show was so bad. Just like they had only 2 people on Team Oklahoma, and not trying to body shame anyone, but it was one dude who clearly was skilled, and the only person he had on his team was a girl who was easily over 300 pounds. And like I said, not to body shame, but if you're having a competitive team, that's not really what you want in a race series. And it was very clear that she was just a body to have on a quad, because whenever the racing start, like, they would only go about 6 or 7 laps, and 2 laps in, she's half a lap behind. That she'd have to peel off every single race to get out of the way for the other people who actually knew how to drive aggressively in a quad. And so, I mean, it was like they clearly didn't put a lot of stock in there. And then the team captain of Team Oklahoma was clearly like the best quad driver in all of it. Like, he was phenomenal. He knew how to put on a show. He's doing jumps in the middle of these races on the monster truck ramps, whereas nobody else is. And there was times that like he would be running and be so far ahead that he would have to like play up that he was going slower so that the other guys could catch up. And then between their races, he's helping out with like the other monster truck event stuff, like handing out t-shirts and doing all this other stuff. Is like, y'all kind of really just ruined the illusion that this guy really isn't just the best quad racer. Like, it was so upsetting to be like, that guy deserves to win. Like, he is clearly a master of his craft, and y'all just found some people to fill in seats on quads. If y'all needed to, I could have done it for you. Like, it was rough.
Let me ask you, did the event you went to for the monster trucks, not the quad portion, was it just the freestyle, or was it like the racing where they
It was. They did like a qualifying lap where it was like each one by themselves and how fast could they go around individually. And then they did the racing where it was 1v1. And that's the one they let the kids' favorite Shark Attack win. And then it was freestyle.
Okay, so they did it all at the one.
Yeah, they did it
That's
all.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
cool.
about a little less than 2 hours long. They had, weirdly enough, they did like 75% of it. And then like, all right, we're going to take a 10-minute intermission. And it's like, clearly there's only one quad race and the freestyle left. Like your intermission was not really paced out great because as soon as they hit the intermission, my kid and about 10 other kids in a 30-yard perimeter were done. They're like, can we go home? Like y'all did not plan that well. Like he was like, I don't want to be here. He did the entire intermission. He was whining that he wanted to go home. And then during the last race, the quad race, he did not care. And then during the freestyle, he would look up like right as they would start. And he like I said, we went with my in-laws. So obviously they're going to buy him stuff. They bought him like a monster truck toy of the Shark Attack, like not Hot Wheels brand, but adjacent. But it's a little monster truck branded by this company that puts on these shows. And so, yeah, like the Shark Attack went up to do his freestyle and he was like, I've got that. And he was like, woo. And then he immediately went to go playing with it on the bench. So didn't even care about the freestyling. And so it was just like, it was cool. It was great. It was fun. We had a great time. The next day we had my father-in-law's birthday party. So we went over there and he catered it all to my son. So he, at 63 years old, had a Mario and Luigi Mario Kart cake. And they had bought Gray a giant Hot Wheels track Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. So they went and all raced it together. So it was my father-in-law's birthday, but it was all geared towards my son.
Joke's on you. This sounds like my 63rd birthday.
Right. And so, yeah,
I'm taking down notes.
It was a good weekend, like a good family weekend. Where it was not fun starts all the way back last Wednesday. Actually, it starts back about a week and a half ago. A week and a half ago, I get my bill for my internet. When I signed up with my internet, it was the first internet to come into my town that has fiber internet. And I don't remember if I ever shared on the podcast or not, how much I hated my previous internet.
I feel like it got brought up a lot in streams.
I bet it did. I'm pretty sure any stream going back before like 2023, especially, it's been brought up. I hated my internet. It was 1 gig internet, not fiber, just the regular standard coax line internet. And they overcharged me an insane amount, like $175 a month for 1 gig internet.
Ooh, son.
It wasn't that much. It was like $135. It was $135, but still a lot for not fiber. But it's because there was no other internet that could go 1 gig in my town, and they knew it. And I protested them for 3 or 4 years trying to get my internet down. And it was kind of one of those things like everyone knows if you tell them, hey, I'm going to cancel it, they're going to like lower your rate. Tried that. They knew I wasn't going to go somewhere. And so they kept it there. When my current internet came in, I was like immediately switching. Now I'm going to get 1 gig fiber for $60 a month, literally less than half of what I'm paying for better internet. And they pulled this whole thing like, oh, we'll lower it. Like we'll do all this. Actually had like a guy call me and said, what if we lowered your bill to $20 a month and gave you 12 months of like HBO Max for free? And I was like, the only thing y'all can do at this point is if you write me a check for $5,000 for how much I have overpaid for internet because y'all knew I couldn't go somewhere else. And they're like, oh. And then that guy got to his manager. His manager called me and I told him the exact same thing. I got elevated to his manager and I was like, dude, there's nothing y'all can do. I remember the exact word. The last thing I ever said to a Optimum representative is, if the next words out of your mouth is we are going to write you a $5,000 check for the years of overpaying, then there is nothing left. And the guy goes, yes, sir. And hung up. I was just furious with them. So I got fiber internet. It was great. They went up, like the promotional period of $60 a month went away and it went up to $70. And I'm like, that's not bad. Still getting 1 gig fiber And so at $70 versus the $135 I was paying, I checked other rates around, and that's fair. I just had a promotional period for a year where I got to pay $60 a month. And I was like, great. It went up again. And I was like, oh, don't start this with me. I've been down this road before. You're gonna have a problem on your hand, and his name is Austin. And I look at it, and since the inception of this internet, service is fine early on. And I know they jumped the gun way too early in getting customers out, because once a month, just for a day, I'd have no internet. And it happened for like a year and a half. It was just one day randomly, and talked to like a technician, local guy, and it's like, oh yeah, they're having to like redo lines, and they're having to change up some nodes, and that's why they're doing it. And it's like, so they rolled it out before it was really ready to be servicing customers, because once a month they had to like redo something, and it just knocked all the internet out, but they would get it done in about a day. So it's just like, okay, not the worst thing. And at the time, once again, I'm paying less than half of what I was paying before. I can go one day without internet. But now you have it going up, and they are a want to be advanced technology company, as in you do everything on their app. Trying to get a hold of a representative is a nightmare. And so they want to do everything on the app. And so I go to the app. I'm like, F it. Like I just want to get an answer. Why is my bill going up? No answer. Nothing. However, it says that I am eligible for a free upgrade to 2 gig internet. I was like, I don't need 2 gig internet. 1 gig is fine. Like 1 gig is all I need. We don't have enough devices in this house between 2 kids or 2. Wow. Yeah, sure. 2 kids, 1 adult and 2 kids. 2 adults and 1 kid in this house.
Are you going to tell Heather which one of you is the kid?
I think we all know.
Yeah, probably.
And so I was just like, God, I don't want to go through this. The app is just a piece of crap. And I was just like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal with having to call them. I will just take the free 2 gig upgrade. And because it's not going to charge my bill up anymore, it'll be locked in for another year and a half. So to limit my headaches with having to deal with people, I'll just upgrade. That was my first mistake. Shouldn't have done it. Don't know why I did it, because I knew it was going to be a problem. Because
they wore you down. They wore you down, man.
Trying to avoid a problem, I fell into another problem. They have to send me new equipment. The router that was sent with the 1 gig does not support 2 gig internet.
Which is typical.
Yeah, I get it. And so they send it out. It comes in quick. It comes in like 2 or 3 days. Awesome. Great. The problem is it is a self-install kit. Well, I know how to install a router. The problem is you have to do it through their app. You have to set the router up in their app. Okay. We'll work it. We'll make it happen. I will fight this thing. 4 clicks into it, it asks, which device are you setting up? And when you click on it, there is no options. Nothing. There is no, here's what we've sent you, or here's a list of items we have. Nothing. And I'm like, God, I already knew it. It's going to be a problem. So now I have to go through the nightmare of trying to get a representative, because when you call them, they immediately say, oh, if you're experiencing technical difficulties, just use our app and talk to our Giga Chat, which is their AI generated chat. Like, no, not doing it. It takes 9 minutes of me having to say no, having to press number 2, having to do all of this stuff for it to finally stop trying to get me to go to their app, which is what started all of this. And so I'm finally started getting connected to a representative 12, 13 minutes into my phone call here. And I told him, hey, we got this new device and I can't set it up. He goes, oh, we haven't updated our app to include those.
Bruh.
You sent me a device with a form saying I have to do this on the app and y'all haven't integrated it yet. Already going to be mad about this. Already going to be pissed. And I choke my pride down. I'm like, okay, What do I need to do? And he goes, oh, I will handle it for you. I was like, thank God. And he goes, is it plugged in? Does it have the blue light? I'm like, yes. Then it has the blue lights. He goes, great. I will remote in and get it set up for you. Awesome. Thank you. During that time, and because the brand of device is called a Euro, it's the one that's built by Amazon.
Yep.
He's like, do you have the Euro app? I have the Euro app. He goes, you could have done it through the Euro app directly. No, I couldn't have, because it wouldn't let me. Tried that. I tried to not have to contact you about this.
I didn't want to talk to anybody.
I wanted to get this set up in 5 minutes like I should have been able to, but it was not going to let me. And so he goes, oh, okay. And so then he gets it set up, gets it up and running. And he goes, well, great. He's like, I got it up and running. We will have the 2 gig switch over tonight. Like, I can't have it done right now. It will have to be at like 11 o'clock tonight. I go, that's great. Before you get off the phone with me, I have 2 devices and I was only sent 1 because when we set up, it's mesh internet and I have it hardwired. One's at the complete other end of the house and I have 100 foot cable running through my attic to give it internet. And he goes, oh, well, we can send out a new one. Like, cool, great, thank you. He gets me like a QR code to get the return set up for this one. No problem. So 30 minutes after a phone call, internet set up. I was like, I don't need the 2 gig. I'm not hurting for it. The next day, a box comes in, empty box, and it's a return box. It's like, okay, odd. He told me I just have to take the device up there. Whatever. I'll put it in the box. Waiting for the second device because I'm not going to go return this and then get another device and do all this. I'll just return them both at the same time. Second device comes in on Sunday. Cool, great. I go to set it up. I already know it's going to be a problem. Weirdly enough, it connects right up. Plug it in, switch everything over, runs great. Cool, awesome. No headache, right? I go to run my 2 gig internet speed. I'm getting 500 megs. Little short of 2 gigs, if you ask me.
That ain't right.
Not it. Not it. And then I'm like, here we go.
And
I'm
the
gonna
way
have to
we
call.
go, it's
I'm
gonna
gonna
happen.
have to call somebody. And sure enough, here we are after it was Saturday because it was the same day we went to the monster truck show. So I get home and I'm like, I just grit your teeth and get through this. So once again, the 9 minutes of telling an automated voice that I don't want to do their Giga Chat and their AI tech support. I just want a representative. Please, God, give me a representative. It's like, oh, there's a 10-minute wait. And I was like, I'm just going to leave the callback number. Just call me back. And they do. Call me back in 10 minutes. And just to add just like a little bit of salt to the wound, the voicemail says, instead of setting up a callback, you could have done this all on the Giga Chat. And I was like, oh, you're not setting me up for a good time. And so guy gets on and I start telling him, all right, so I got a problem because that box came in. It came in a box with a note on there that's saying, we're sorry you have a defective device. Feel free to recycle it any way you want, which is not what the first guy told me, which I have to return both devices, which I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to talk with this guy. It's like, hey man, here's the situation. I talked to a guy Wednesday. We got a new device set up. It's supposed to have 2 gig internet, and I don't. I got a second device in, and it's telling me that device is defective, and I can just recycle it. But yet, I was told if I don't return both devices, I'm going to get charged. Which problem do you want to address first?
Gotta give him the choice, man.
Choose your own story.
Yeah. Which one do? And he's like, we'll address the internet speed one first. Because he's like, honestly, I think that will be the longer one. Like, you're probably right. Because he goes and pulls up my account and he goes, first thing I hear him say, he goes, I'm going to pull up your account. It's like, that's fine. He goes, huh? That's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, huh? That's not promising. He goes, I see that it was supposed to switch over, but I see on your account that you're only getting 1 gig. And I was like, well, not even getting that right now. I'm getting 500 megs. And he was like, huh?
Another, huh?
You're not
Yet
helping.
another one.
That's weird.
You are not you're not helping me, bud. And he goes, I am going to see if I can remote and fix it. Best of luck. He tries for 5 minutes. Can't do it. He goes, I'm going to elevate this to our local, I think called it like central house, whatever their local area that actually manages their internet is. He gets in contact. He's like, I got to put you on hold while I try and get a hold of them. It takes him like 3 or 4 minutes, put on hold. He comes back and goes, they're taking a look at it, seeing what they can figure out. It's like, cool, great. He's trying
While you were on hold, did it play an automated message reminding you about the AI help agent thing?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Good.
Absolutely. For any technical supports, please refer to the My Frontier app and speak with GigaChat.
Yeah, which definitely could not have helped you in any of this.
No, I was like, I tried it. I tried it 5 times and it won't work. Stop. I wish there was I tried this button I could have pressed, but they didn't offer that for some reason.
No, everyone would hit that button.
It's true.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm chatting with them right now. They're taking a look at it. And about 7 minutes go by and he goes, can you reset the router? Sure. I reset it. They run another speed test. It's working. Cool. Great. Awesome. Let's run a speed test. I run a speed test. 1 gig.
That's still not 2 gigs.
Like, sir, sir, we've doubled our speed, but not the double we needed. Now it went from 5 to 1. And he was like, give me 1 second. Like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And he does something. He goes, all right, try it one more time. And it hit me at this moment that I have been working against myself from the beginning, and I was addressing a problem I didn't know I had.
Oh no.
Because the way my internet is set up, I have the modem router combo that they gave me fed into a switch that then runs a cable to our like switch, our TV, Xbox, everything that's kind of over in that area. Then a cable from that to a switch over to here, which goes to both of my computers and then runs the cable that runs all the way to the other end of the house. These switches I have are only 1 gig switches.
I was going to ask, but I wanted to see where this was going.
You got bottlenecked.
I got bottlenecked.
Foot and mouth.
The guy asks at one point, do you have are you using Cat 6 cables? I'm like, I'm using Cat 8 cables, man. Like, I don't want my cables to be the problem. And that's when I thought about it. I was like, oh Lord. So I might have been in the wrong here. Turns out I was in the right because they never actually did switch it over. And I ran it off my phone to the wireless router, and it did the same thing. And did not know this, in the Eero app, it actually tells you what speeds you max each day of what you're actually getting. And so he was actually able to see that they never actually did switch it over to the 2 gig. And I was like, man, I almost felt like an asshole. But I was addressing an issue I did not know I had, and it fixed itself. And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it."
You were right.
What do you want me to do with this other
you were
device?
Right for the wrong reason.
I was right for the wrong reason. And he was like, "Oh, I'll just get you a QR code that you can scan. Take it up to the UPS store. They'll scan the QR code, and you can return that device." Like, okay, cool, great, thank you. Have a lovely day. So I had to get 2.5 gig switches in my house, and I just installed them today.
So switches themselves have a speed limit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything in the network does.
Okay.
And they're little 5-port switches. And one thing is insane to me is how much price increases just for speed increase. Because the 1 gig switches I had were $13 a piece. A 2.5 gig switch, exact same brand, exact same design, $50 a piece.
Ooh.
So $100 to get internet running the way I needed it to in my house.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So are you just running the switches so you can plug more things in through Ethernet?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know Michael has a similar setup, but his is for like, I think Michael has different VLANs for the streaming stuff and whatnot, or at least a separate network. So
yeah, no, mine is all for stability, especially, gaming.
yeah.
I don't care how good Wi-Fi is. You're always going to get bad network connection with Wi-Fi versus hardwired. I mean, you could get a better connection on a 500 meg hardwired than you could as 5 gig wireless. It's always going to be that way.
Transmission latency is the biggest thing there, and packet loss.
Yeah. So that has been my frustration with, number one, my internet, because the app sucks and I don't ever want to actually get sponsored by Frontier. So I'll name drop them because their app is terrible. They need to get rid of it. They need to redesign it completely. But at the same time, I felt somehow both vindicated, but weirdly like it was me the whole time because I was addressing a problem I didn't know I had, and it got fixed, and it had to have gotten fixed anyways.
No, did you have any devices running wirelessly?
Our phones.
Was it getting the 2 gig speed the whole time?
No. I actually did check that because I was wondering if it was the device itself. So when we first plugged it in, well, he said it would happen overnight. Like I ran it on my computer and I didn't see it. And I was like, maybe it's is it a weird that the wireless is better than hardwired? And so I checked it on my phone and was only getting a gig. And I was like, okay, so I'm not getting it, but I wasn't going to address it till I got the second device to plug it in. And whenever I plug that one in, and I'm pretty sure like that one I'm not too worried about because the only thing we connect back there is our TV because we do streaming. We use the Fire Stick, and it gets 500 megs because I know that cable running all the way back there is not Cat 6. But at 500 megs to run a streaming off of a TV and for our phones to be on it at night, that's all it does.
Yeah, that's plenty.
So I'm not needing. I don't need a gig or 2 gigs back there, so I don't really care. If I have to replace this cable, it's because the cable is just going to go bad and that's it. But here, like in the living room where 80% of our internet connected devices are, I want the best connection, especially for gaming and all of this. So
yeah, makes sense. That's like Shane said, that's why I've got a lot of my switches is same reason, like plugging in hardware and like having dedicated Xboxes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I got 2 Xboxes, a Switch, our TV, 2 computers, a PlayStation that hasn't been turned on since the dawn of time, but all up here hardwired for that reason.
And it makes a little bit more sense because you stream, but like my computer's right next to the router. I don't really feel the need to wire anything else in my house. So that kind of limits me from needing a switch, but I've thought about getting one before just to sort of practice on a home lab, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, I had the one switch that's over here by my computers first. I actually bought that second one. It was like December. Like it was like 3 months ago, only because we got a new TV. And I think we actually talked about this on the podcast. I don't remember. We talked about it somewhere, how like the wireless in the TVs are garbage. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, I just want to hardwire it. So I was like, it's $12. I'll just buy another switch and just hardwire it. And just went ahead and hardwired the Switch and the Xbox over there while I was at it. So it's just like, it was all wireless over there for a while. But now it's like, okay, do that. And then it's like, okay, well, apparently I needed two gigs this whole time. Well, not this whole time, but for the last 2 days. But I couldn't have even used them if I did that right.
See, that's the other problem I have too. I don't know where I'd run the lines to if I wanted to do that. I don't want to knock down a wall or try and...
I know Austin's solution to that problem.
Mine's in the ceiling. Y'all seen the picture of it.
Shane, do you have...
right through the ceiling.
Do you have telephone jacks?
Some of them, not many, honestly.
Because that's what I did, is we had a bunch of telephone jacks that we weren't using, because who has a wired phone in their house? I converted them all to Ethernet.
Yeah, I don't think when we moved in here, we didn't get a lot put in the first place. That's kind of my issue. I don't know where I'd run it. So anything I wanted wired sort of has to be in the room I'm sitting in right now, which the only thing that I need wired to is my computer.
Yeah, and that's
Shane's
So,
old lab going to
also-
set up, and it's just a bunch of wires running everywhere, like it's a lab scene from a movie.
Now, back in the day, like Xbox 360 days, I did run like 100-foot Ethernet cable out of my bedroom and across the house because my internet was terrible, and I thought that would help. But it was just putting a Band-Aid on a terrible gunshot wound.
Yeah, when we
Thanks,
first
Verizon.
moved into the house and got our internet, they actually ran the modem and router like through the attic and dropped it down into a closet in the middle of the house, which was super nice because it was like, great, like that's going to get the best coverage. Like that was back in the day where you had to supply your own hardware. So I had my own modem and router, and that wireless router, I could get signal out in the middle of the road. And so it was great. But for gaming and stuff, I did. I bought a 100-foot cable, and it just went up through the ceiling in the hall closet, dropped it down into the wall and had it come out, and then just had a switch that everything was connected to there. But whenever we had to switch all of my gaming stuff over to this side of the house, I can't run it down through the wall in this area because where I am now used to be a 2-car garage originally, and the walls are, I don't know what's in them, but you can't run anything down them. I don't know if they just have like extra like wood slats going horizontally there, but couldn't get anything down it, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's just extra wooden slats there that I can't get it past. So yeah, that's why I have to drop it. I was just like, all right, well, this is the corner where no one will actually see it being in the rest of the living room. So this is the corner that I'm dropping this down through.
Well, I have many comments, I think.
I think
Some questions.
You think you're not sure?
Yeah, so as you were explaining that whole story, I'm reliving my entire internet history because, as many of you know, I've had so many issues with internet over the years. Remind me, did you say you were not going to name drop this company? Or
You already
say
did.
No, I 100% said I was going
I didn't
to.
hear the name of the
Hi,
company. What was the name of the
Frontier.
company?
Frontier.
I actually have Frontier, and I don't have a problem, but I live in Tampa,
Okay.
Florida, so it's not really an issue
Well,
for big city
And
people.
now that because just weird backstory that I know, Frontier used to run by its name, but it was owned by Verizon. Verizon has now actually like taken it over. So now it is like officially Frontier owned by Verizon. So they are no longer their quote unquote own name as a subsidiary. I think Verizon took them over and just like kept the name because it's easier just to keep the name as it was instead of trying to change everything over. So when Verizon actually took it over, that's actually when I stopped having to have the like 1 day a month of internet being out. Because I remember it was like the day they announced that. It's like, well, for some of us, this was never a secret. But also y'all use Verizon money to fix everything, so that's great.
As a former Verizon customer, they're not much better.
I haven't had a single internet drop, so I mean they're
hate
a little bit
Verizon.
better.
It is the worst. Well, no, Windstream is the worst I've ever used. Verizon is a somewhat distant second, but they're not very good.
I would still argue Spectrum is the worst in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have Spectrum up here.
The reason I asked though is mainly because of the Eero thing, and I know those are fairly common, but the way you were talking about they were going about it and the way all these calls went sounds so similar to the company I have, and I actually just looked up if they were somehow under the same ownership or anything, and they're not. But I've been with this company for a while because where I live, there are very few options. We've had them for years and years. Like even before I moved out when I was still in high school, which has been almost 10 years ago now, we had them when I was living at home.
You live in like HughesNet area. Let's be real.
Right, basically. Yeah, not quite, but basically.
Real
What a
throwback
great
there.
company.
Comment down below if you remember HughesNet.
They're still around.
Yeah,
They're still around,
I
aren't
do.
they?
Are they?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Well, either way, so when the company I'm with came out with the Eero, I was like, that's great and all, but I don't need it because Wi-Fi is not a big concern to us because we always just had everything hooked up to Ethernet as much as possible. And we used the Wi-Fi, of course, on our phones and stuff, but it was fine like it was. Well, the problem is the routers they used to give us had like 6 Ethernet ports on them. You didn't have to worry about getting switches too much and stuff like that because they had a ton of Ethernet ports.
Right.
Well, ever since they came out with the Eero, the router, not, they didn't come up with it, but since they implemented it into the company, the router they send out has 1 Ethernet or 2 Ethernet ports, but as you know, one of them has to be plugged into the Eero, and then it has a separate Ethernet port. So I remember asking early on, like, can I just not use this? I don't need it. I'm not worried about my Wi-Fi signal being enhanced. I would just rather have more Ethernet ports. And I was asking if I could go back to one of the older routers or whatever, or a different router, whatever. And they basically were like, nope, you got to have it. There's no way around it. Like, it's not an option to not have it. If you unplug it, your Wi-Fi is not going to work. You're just going to be able to connect through hardwire. So I did the similar solution of adding switches. We don't go through the ceiling. We go underground because we have a crawl space, and we've wired it underground. But still, and then here lately, we've been having full-blown outages. I found out, it's been about a year or so ago now, so I have a next door neighbor that's very close. Like, I could toss a rock from my front porch and hit the side of their house. The pole that our internet line comes straight off of the pole and then into the ground in between our 2 yards, like right in the middle of it. And it's supposed to be 2 wires that then split to each of our houses, right? I found out recently that is how it's going. The wires are separated to each of our houses. However, the receiver or whatever it is, I'm no, expert on this stuff, but the receiver on the pole does not have a splitter. So we're essentially we're sharing service.
Yuck.
So I found out 2 years after moving into this house, I've been sharing basically internet with the person next door. And I mean, they're great people. They're not home much, so it works out. But it would explain a lot of times when later at night, speed just drops. It's like it sucks now. Now that was, again, like a year ago, but we've had many more issues since then of just full-blown outages for days at a time. Or there was one period where for every day for 3 weeks or so at 7 o'clock on the nose, or 7:30, something like that, on the nose, it would cut out every single night.
I remember you complaining about this because I think this was in the days of us playing Siege or something, and you're just like, well, I just can't now, guys.
Yeah, sorry, 7:30's here, gotta get off. It was so frustrating, and I called them so many times to the point where I remember when I called them about the time that they came out and told me that I was sharing service, basically, I got to the point where, every time you call, they want to go through the same spiel of, who are you? What's your name? What issues are you having? Can you tell us a little bit about it? And I never want to be rude with customer service because I know it's not their fault, right? Like, they're just the ones that answer the phones. They don't design the internet. They don't make these decisions with service and stuff like that. And I know that. But I got to the point where I was so tired. I could have done their job just from hearing them do it so many times that I got to the point where I would say, this is my name. And I'd give them, all the stuff they asked for, your name, your phone number, your address, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to be rude, but you are going to waste my time and I'm going to waste your time by trying to explain what's going on. Please look at the history. You will see a call every week for the last 3 months. And I guess just send somebody out, because I know that's what this is going to turn into. Like, there's nothing else you can do. And I would try my best to explain to every one of the techs. And I know all of them had the same reaction of every house I go to, they all think they know what's going on and what doesn't work and what does work. And, they're going to do their thing. But I'm sitting here like begging them. Like, I'm telling you, you can go in there and look all you want. So have the last 6 guys. You're going to waste your time. I need a more creative solution here. It was like nothing happened. Here lately, it has been doing better, knock on wood. But yeah, it's so thank you for bringing all that up, Austin, because now I'm going to have nightmares again tonight. PTSD just kicked in for sure with the internet issues. But
yeah, no problem.
He's going to wake up in the
I
middle
was
of the night.
genuinely
My name
curious
is Tyler
for a
McClellan,
second. Yeah. I'm going to start reading off the Vive, and I'll name drop all day, because every time at the end of the call, it always asks enter a number from 1 to 10. How likely are you to refer Vive broadband to a friend or neighbor? I
love that question
every single time. It pisses me off.
Luckily,
I will
the
not.
0 button is right down there by itself.
Yeah, exactly. But too bad they say 1 through 9. And 0's a trap. You press 0 when you're really pissed off, but that's really 10. They just don't tell you that.
Right,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, but so I was genuinely curious if it was the same company, but it's not. So it sounds like I'm not the only person. Again, it also sounds like you sorted it out to an extent. And similar thing, I pay for 1 gig of internet, and I bet if I did a speed test right now, I'd probably be getting like 400 megs down. The problem is with my crappy internet is the upload speed. The uploads, I get 400 down, but I might have like 25 megabytes upload speed. It's awful.
Yeah, I think I had that issue with my last internet company. Whereas this one, it's like they would cut off for a day, but if it was running well. But my last one, it would be like the dips that would happen all the time. And that's when I would just get pissed. And so, yeah, that's what I said. Frontier internet by itself has been decent. Like if it's running, it's running. I've never had dips. I've never had drops. Weirdly, other than trying to tell them that I'm not getting the 2 gigs when I was getting half of it. But still, like at 500 megs is still plenty of what I needed, that I never noticed the drop. Mine was very similar the same way. Like you said 7 o'clock and I like something in my brain activated. The 7:30 was when mine would cut off. Like it would drop. And so I'm pretty sure it was a similar situation where it's just everyone's at home getting on theirs and I'm splitting on the node to so many other customers that it can't handle it. Because I remember very much like it was one of the reasons why I pulled back streaming years ago, because it's just like, I know like whenever it's time where I would sit down to play games, it was going to be the time when my internet would go crappy. And there was no point in trying to stream because it would just cut the stream off like 7 or 8 times in like 20 minutes. So yeah, I feel for that on a spiritual level.
Yeah, and that was the bizarre thing with that whole situation, is that it had never happened before. It was just like all of a sudden, and that was what always threw me off, was it was that exact time. And I actually think it was later, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like 8 or 8:31. I don't remember now because it's been a while ago, but it was either 8 or 8:30. Every single night, it would just cut off. It got slow. It started to struggle, just full blown cut off. There was the router would have all the lights like normal, but internet would not function at all. And none of them ever had an answer for me. And I'm like, you can't tell me that you can't see anything in the system that might cause this, whether it's physical on the lines or if it's in the network. It's like, you can't tell me that you cannot figure this out somewhere, right? It'd be like if your car cut off right as soon as the speedometer hit 60 miles an hour, you would clearly know what general area to look at some point. But yeah, I've always been one, because I worked at a cell phone store for T-Mobile, which has, historically bad signal in most places. And so I dealt with pissed off customers all the time. And I was always like, God, like these people are assholes. I'll never understand why they're so rude. They act like I'm the one that puts up the cell towers. Dealing with the internet troubles I did for so long, like the frustration, I can kind of see why people sometimes come in a little too hot when they call these places or go into these stores. I'm still not that person, but still, it starts to make a little bit more sense when you look at it from that just pure everyday frustration angle.
Oh, I think I have so much PTSD from my last internet company that I have become that one. Like if I know I'm gonna have to call my internet company, I'm already mad. Like I've just pre-matted myself, because I'll talk to other customer service things like my phone company or other general places, and I'll be like, yeah, I get it, I understand, but something about internet, for getting raked over the coals for 5 years from my previous internet company, is just like, oh, I already know I'm going to be mad. And that's the thing, is the customer service with the current internet is fine. Like they're good. They understand. They do their job well. They have always addressed the issue, have always given me like a clear, like, we're going to do our best to make this work. Now, why guy last week on Wednesday said it'll switch over and it never did, and it confused the crap out of this dude, don't know. But he fixed it. He got the problem solved. And I think I scared him a little bit because whenever I ran it after getting everything set up, I'm actually getting like 2.5 gigs. So I think he boosted my internet just a little bit just to make me happy.
Please don't let this guy be angry.
Yeah, I don't want to have this guy call me again. Yeah, it was funny because that guy I talked to on Saturday, he was like, I'm going through the logs. You're right. And I was like,
you're damn right I am.
That's nice to hear.
Well, thank you. I needed that.
Right. Thank you. But that has been my internet saga for 2 weeks. Hopefully there's no more issues. I mean, I just ran it here just to see it. It's running great. 2.3 gigs. It's a nice little speed boost, but God, I knew when I went to look at why my bill went up, it was immediately going to be a thing. I didn't know how it was going to play out. I just knew it was going to play out in some way that was going to frustrate the hell out of me. And then the fact that, once again, there was an issue and I was trying to get it addressed and found out that I was part of the problem, but yet the issue was still there. It just kind of, like I said, weirdly validating, but at the same time, it was also my fault. Like it validated the fact that I knew something was going to go wrong, and it did.
That's that water cooler talk later on where they're all on their lunch break talking. And yeah, I had this one guy who's been calling us forever, and he was throttling his own internet and blaming it on us. Like, oh, well, was he getting the right internet? Oh, no, that was still on us. But it was still his switches.
Yeah, right?
You gave them an excuse to not be in the wrong anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I played it off like, oh, no, it's probably it's like a bad, like, because I figured out what it was. And I was like, it's probably a bad cable. I'm just going to have to replace the cable. And he goes, yeah, probably. If you have any problems, like, let us know. I was like, oh, well, the fact that, like, and I played it off so well. I was like, yeah, the fact that I got it on my phone and we're looking at it and he's looking at the speed that my router is getting. He's like, yeah, I see it. It's working now. I was like, oh, cool, great.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. How do you want this other router to be returned to you?
Well, Austin, I think we should petition some universities that teach psychology and train therapists and tell them that there should be a therapy specialty of internet frustrations, and we can just be the professors for that, to teach people how to deal with people going through these issues.
God, we would make too much money.
Yeah.
We couldn't handle all the requests of services.
Too much money.
We can call this the internet episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was going to say, I really don't have anything to add because once I moved away from Spectrum 3 or 4 years ago to Google Fiber, it's been great. Nothing to really complain about.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. I promise.
Xfinity hasn't been bad. I enjoy it.
Well, if you are Google, actually, if you're Google and you want to sponsor us, please.
Seriously, please.
Xfinity, you can too if you want.
Any internet company, actually. Even if you're a bad one, we're fine with that.
No.
No, I only want to be sponsored by companies that we can believe in. And
that's fair.
There's a lot that we can't.
I mean, I can believe in them, just not believe that they're a good company.
I believe in this company and that
prove their
existence.
existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Frontier said we would give you money. Actually, if Optimum came and said we want to give you money, my immediate thing is it $5,000? You got $5,000 check you're finally gonna give me?
You should have won every manager they passed you along to. You should have went up $5,000. So the second guy was 10, the third guy was 15, and just see how far they'd pass you along.
The sad part is the $5,000 wasn't even made up. It was calculated, because how I calculated it is that at one point they had a promotion for new customers that it would be 1 gig internet for $75 for life. It would never go up. That is how much you pay, and that's how much you will always pay. And I was like, okay, I'm not a new customer. Well, I went and looked at it. I went and looked at their disclaimers. I went and looked at it, and it actually states that if you start a new line, that's when you could get it. And so I called and I said, hey, I want to cancel my line and start a new one. Can I get this? So like, no, you have to be off of our service for a year before you are considered a new customer. Like, that's not what your clause says. So I want to start a new line, have 2 lines in my house, and I'm going to cancel that first one. And they wouldn't do it. They're like, no, we can't. Bunch of bullshit of how they wouldn't do it. And so from the time I saw that promotion, and I was paying $60 more for that same service, that's how long it ran until I left, that it added up to $5,000 that would have offset if I would have paid that much less.
Man's out here doing the math.
I mean, I was pissed. But that has been my story. Y'all got anything now that we're here at time?
I mean, I don't. No,
man.
I think
this
you
is the
did
Austin
a great
episode.
job.
This is the Austin internet episode, man.
Yeah,
Put a bow on it.
you did fantastic.
Call it that in the title.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to my story. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you, listeners, for listening to my therapy session that I needed apparently to get out. Did not know that was still holding in there. Let us know how your internet is. Let us know how your troubles. This is a safe place to come with your internet troubles. We welcome it. You are more than welcome to share it here. Please do.
No, please don't come to me with your internet problems.
Shane would love to hear what internet problems he can solve for you. He is in IT. He can help you. Ask Shane.
He is our resident IT guy.
He's our resident IT guy. Ask him.
Please don't.
He would love to talk with you about it.
And
Please
also
do.
consider that you might be the problem, just like Austin was.
But also know that you might get a problem solved that you didn't know needed to be solved. There's that. So you don't know till you try. But
let's not forget that Austin was simultaneously the problem and not the problem.
Like I said, it's weird. It's
Schrödinger's
like,
problem.
It was like I knew there was a problem and I didn't know what the problem was, but I just had to complain to get it fixed, and it worked itself out.
Schrödinger's internet connection.
But you can do that by going to either YouTube, Twitter, or Blue Sky at Roundabout Gaming. You can go to Instagram or Facebook at Roundabout Pro. We also stream every Friday. We have the last 2 Fridays played iRacing Arcade and had a blast with it. Had some viewers come in and race with us. Had a bunch of guys hop in our Discord, chat with us while we raced. And you can come at Twitch at Roundabout Pro. And once again, we stream at YouTube as well. That is Roundabout Gaming. But please, come hang out with us. Come talk with us. Like, share, comment, all of the fun things. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.